Hey, and welcome back, friends, to another edition of The Middle Line. So right now we're going to talk about how to end the pandemic. Essentially, if we talk about the pandemic, we can say that nature has done us a big favor here. Look at all the benefits we saw from the pandemic itself when it came through in, the first big wave, and we all had those lockdowns. You saw wildlife springing back, and we saw a dramatic decrease in carbon emissions. Air quality went up, water quality, things were quieter. Remember that? Calm. A cessation of, all these little wars that are in all these pockets of the world. It all sort of evaporated. Benefit. Also, most of humanity made a dramatic, technological leap at that time, right? Actually connecting more sometimes with family and friends on the virtual platform. So the sharing and the interactions became much more prevalent, actually. Not having to travel for business so much. And spending 3-4 hours a day just traveling, lying to all kinds of crazy destinations just to take a meeting face-to-face with somebody you could easily have done with a virtual meeting. The skies were clear. We stopped burning as much fossil fuel. A lot of benefits. Well, that's my point. A lot of benefits. A few detractions as well, and we're not going to talk about that, but focusing on the good things. So overall, we are all in a new phase of human development. I think we can all agree on that. And I don't think any of us are naive enough to believe that we're going back to normal. Not going to happen. So also now social distancing is part of the program. We have this collective agreement that 2 meters apart is appropriate distance for our egos to stay away from each other. You get a meter, I get a meter, and let's not meet in the middle. And along with that, there's plenty of tests for us, right? We saw mask mandates, vaccines, lockdowns, stay-at-home orders, and oh boy, did the conspiracy theories fly. And they're still flying around. It's the government, Chinese, oligarch, the Illuminati, bankers, the WHO, the CDC, Martians.
Capture that creature and return the Illudium Q-36 explosive space modulator.
Everyone's to blame, right? So what am I trying to say? Let's talk about the real reason behind all of this. Who is actually to blame, if there is anyone to blame? Nature. And now nature is putting itself in balance because we have failed to do so. And I think we can all breathe a sigh of relief because where was all of this going? All of this chaos. How much more pressure on the system can we put so that we can build and expand and create and develop and produce all the crap that we have in the world? Unnecessary crap. How many kinds of cereal do we need? They got a whole aisle full of cereals. How many crappy, colorful marshmallow cereals does the person need? I think maybe 3. 3's enough. 3 marshmallow, colorful cereals. Why are there hundreds? Oh, I like that Count Chocula when I was a kid. That's another show. Right now in the world, there are massive, expansive buildings that go on for miles and miles and miles, all air-conditioned, basically house the cloud so that the billions and billions of selfies I took traveling the world prove to everybody just how fabulous my lifestyle is. And, ultimately, nature said enough. Nature doesn't want any more of my selfies. Well done, nature. Good for you. And honestly, we can be grateful for this virus. This pandemic has put the brakes on for all of us. And it's done it on such a complete and global level in a way that we were not able to do. We were never going to do it this way. All of us collectively at one time agree. Enough is enough. Put on the brakes. Slow down, everybody. It was never going to happen. Nature has done it for us in the form of this pandemic. Again, well done, nature. So there is no they. There's no they. There's only we. Who are they? They are we. There's nobody to blame except for ourselves. We're to blame. And where did we go wrong? What was our error? And how can we fix it? So we have thus far failed to recognize that we are living in a complete, integral, and closed system, and that we are, each of us, responsible for each other. But this pandemic will teach us, if nothing else can. This is a test for us, and by that I mean opportunity. Are we failing? As of now, as of this moment in the making of this video, I would say we're on the very razor's edge of determining whether or not we're going to succeed or fail. It could go either way, folks. You got lockdown protests, backlash against mask mandates, anti-vaccine movements, conspiracies. These are all clear signals that there are still plenty of us out there who don't yet recognize that we all need to work together. That the only solution we have to coming out of this pandemic and saving ourselves from this or any other problems we have is to connect, work together. It's not that I have the right to choose not to wear a mask, because it's not about my freedoms at this point. This is about doing what's right for each and every one of us, protecting and taking care of everyone. Are we doing that? It's not about the mask, or whether it's comfortable or convenient to wear. Obviously, it's not. Look at this. What a mess. Every time I go into the store, I forgot my mask. Oh, I feel so warm and cozy in my mask. It's great. I particularly love the smell of my own breath. Maybe that's another added benefit of the pandemic, is that people will have better oral hygiene. But rather, I'm wearing the mask almost as a symbol. One that says, I am a citizen of the world, one of billions out there, and I recognize, the need to be in care and concern for every other individual within that system. And I'm showing it by putting this mask on my face. I don't believe in the mask. I don't like wearing it. Nobody does. It's not comfortable. Maybe it doesn't even help. But it's like a badge that says, I care about people. And I want to set a good example to people, to others, to care about people. Simple. And that's the test of nature. Nature is determining right now, do we have what it takes? Are we going to show each other how much we care? Making a small effort of sticking this little piece of cloth around our ears and over our nose and mouth. This is a test. It's an opportunity to serve and show each other an example. We can all do this together. More tests will come, and they'll be much more difficult than having to walk around with one of those in your pocket, especially if we don't take advantage of this opportunity and pass this test now. And those who have been given the gift of becoming, highly skilled medical professionals who have the training and the knowledge and the expertise and the experience to tell us that wearing a mask is a good thing and will help people. It's certainly not going to hurt. Well, who am I to disagree with that? I've not been given the powers by the system to be a medical professional. I don't know the first thing about it. And I'm going to sit back as a big shot, arrogant. I know more than Dr. So-and-so. They tell me that in order to protect everyone, I have to wear a mask. Shouldn't I listen to that? This is not conformity or obedience to some tyrannical government. And trust me, there was a time when I would have thought that it was. It was called being 20-something. No, this wearing a mask, for example, this is an expression of love. And this is what's going to get us out of the pandemic and all future problems that will arise in our lifetimes. How willing are we to express our love for each other? Care and concern. Taking care of your neighbor. Treating the other as you yourself would want to be treated. Test and opportunity. And we have plenty more tests and opportunities coming our way. Opportunities that we will have to navigate and exploit for the benefit of all of us collectively. Nature ultimately is only bringing us good forces for our correction. And we feel them as punishments right now because we don't really understand them. I'll give you an example. A child puts its hand, reaching up to put its hand on a hot stovetop. And the parent comes and slaps the hand away. Well, as the child, I look, naughty parent, he's mean. Why he slapped my hand? He hurt my feelings. Okay, because the child obviously doesn't understand what the parent knows, is that there's danger up there. And the parent has saved the child from pain and anguish. And the child doesn't understand that, can't see that high, and doesn't understand why the parent slapped the hand away. Well, nature right now is slapping our hand. A gentle reminder, a strike of pain, just to show us you're going in the wrong direction. You're not thinking, you're not being careful. And that's all that's happening to us right now. But if we don't understand that, if we don't see the signs, we don't recognize it, what are we going to do? We're going to end up getting burned. So this is what nature is doing for us right now, simply correcting our behavior. But we have to be good little boys and girls, and we have to listen, and we can't be arrogant and say, oh, I want to learn every lesson the hard way, like some kids do. I was one of those kind of kids. So if we don't interpret this correctly, if we don't pass these tests collectively, we will feel them as pain and anguish rather than corrections. So it all depends on our attitude. We're in a difficult state right now, but there is a way out. We're going to keep talking about it. And we will have to do this. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It is a have to situation. There's no getting out of it. We will have to connect whether we want to or not. The question is, how will we do it? If we want to do it, and we choose to do it, and we agree, and we work together, and we do it, it can be a fluid, smooth transition, easy, like an easy birth into the next degree of humanity, whatever that is. But if we fight it and we resist, guess what? This can be an easy, fun process. Fun, joyful, the feeling that you get, and you know those feelings you get when you connect with other people, with friends or family, over a meal, enjoying something together. Now imagine that on a global scale.
I'd like to teach the world to sing
The sentiment is there. So let's not be arrogant. Let's not be in a state of resistance to this big change that's coming. Let's agree. Agree with the change. Truth resonates, so inherently you know that the change is necessary, because we cannot and could not have kept going the way we were going before. It's all looming out there on the horizon. It's all a potential waiting to happen. But we can avert all that by actively pursuing this change now, to grow up and listen to nature and want this change to come. So let's all be good kids, good little boys and girls. Put your stupid masks on and stay on the middle line. Pop a comment in the comments section here. Questions, something you want to talk about, and we can discuss anything.